Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Southern Tea, everything real estate. I am so glad you guys stopped in to join us again today. We have lots to talk about. We have the beautiful Maggie Buchanan with us today. You guys know Maggie's been on the podcast before. She is a great friend and a phenomenal resource to have in your corner. That's why I enjoy so much working with her on the daily. I don't know, it's just like we're in a groove. It's almost like she knows what I'm thinking and I know what she's thinking, and you just really cannot beat a team like that. So you need to call me as your real estate agent and Maggie as your lender, and it'll all just be simple and smooth. So today we want to talk about what's going on in the market and a little bit about lending, of course. And I wanted to remind you guys, I have been hinting around to a big surprise announcement that's coming. And that's coming today. So stick around to the end of the podcast, and I have big, exciting news coming. But first, let's dive into the world of lending. Recently, a new update came out for Palmetto Heroes. It's back in play, which is a phenomenal program, and I'm super excited about it because it offers so much to people that are qualified for that program. So let's jump into that a little bit. Tell us a little bit about who can take advantage of the program and what exactly it is.
So Palmetto Heroes officially launches this year. It launches every single year. It goes away somewhat quickly. So the sooner the better that you jump on trying to get pre-approved so that you can see if you can take advantage of it, the better. But it will launch on Monday the 16th, and it is a $10,000 down payment assistance for our heroes. That includes veterans, first responders who are police and fire, and EMT, as well as teachers and nurses. And the best part is it's definitely a below market interest rate. They haven't posted what that's going to be yet, but it's always a good amount below, the current market rate. So you get a lower interest rate, you get $10,000 for down payment assistance. The credit score requirement is 640. I think the income limit is about 97,000-ish, depending on the county. But I am happy to take any application and see if you qualify, and we would jump right on that right away.
So just for clarification, that happens kind of during the application process, like for a pre-approval. You would find out if you can take advantage of that program as well.
Yes. So you'd fill out an application. I review those within 24 hours. And then we will determine if you qualify for the program. And then we have to find a property, which is where you come in.
Yay!
And you find properties and get people in properties quicker than so many real estate agents that I work with, because you are just so tenacious and helpful and listen to what they're looking for. So I definitely appreciate that. But that's why the team is so important, because this program is limited. Getting pre-approved, knowing if you qualify for it, and then getting that pre-approval for that program, going out and finding your property, because we have to have a contract in order to lock that interest rate and reserve that program.
Right.
So both of those things are really important to do somewhat quickly, not to create over urgency or anything, because you definitely want to make sure that you find the property for you. But again, using the correct realtor and the right team, you can do that.
Makes a huge difference. You know, and that's a lot of what I have been talking about lately, especially to first-time buyers, but really anybody. If you are really in the market and you know that this is the year that you want to buy a home or sell a home, but in particular buy a home, do it now, because as we get on into spring and the weather continues to warm up, that's when everybody is going to feel the pressure to get moving. And so getting in, you know, in the beginning of that is so important, because we are absolutely where rates are at the moment, and, you know, house prices at this moment, prices are going to continue to go up steadily for sure. And you do not want to be in competition with 10 other buyers trying to get in on that one particular house that's the perfect house in the perfect neighborhood and all that. So starting the ball rolling now is so important, guys. This is going to be a huge year for real estate as a whole. I truly, truly can see that writing on the wall. And the longer that you wait to get off that fence, the harder it really is going to be. So that's always my recommendation is let's get the ball rolling, make that decision, have a conversation with me, decide where you want to be, what kind of house you want to be in. And honestly, it's easy from that point. I'm going to send you right over to Maggie, and I'm telling y'all, I have worked with so many lenders in the past, and it is such a process.
It is.
And I'm like, Maggie is going to send you the application, and she's going to review it right away. Like, it's not going to sit on your desk for a week. We're going to know something ASAP, and then we can do the fun thing, which is go out and look at houses and find the perfect one for you. So definitely now is the time. Do you see anything going on right now that gives you any hints as to what may happen in the near future as far as rents?
So
rates, sorry.
That's fine. So it's actually, just to circle back, and then I'll address that, circling back to, the relationship between what's happening with the interest rates and the property values and what you're going to pay for a house. So that's already happening. It's already picking up in other areas. My mom is relocating back to Minnesota. I don't know who signs up for that weather on purpose, but that's okay.
Not me.
She grew up there. She's retired. All her friends are retired. So she's going back to her friends. They're going to go play, and they're going to all support each other, which is awesome. But I say that to say she bought a house there, and we had to put an escalation clause into her contract, meaning we made the offer at the value and said, we'll go over a certain amount. And anybody who was buying or thinking about buying or selling or whatever during COVID time most recently remembers offering over the asking price and maybe coming in with cash and waiving all these contingencies and different things. And that's just driving the values up and up and up. And the reason that happened was because of lower interest rates. So with it being reasonable right now, they have come down some, but they haven't completely, fell off a cliff. Then you're still able to take advantage of a pretty stable market where you still can negotiate with the seller with the help of your real estate agent, and you're still getting a decent interest rate. So it really is a sweet spot right now.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I've seen a lot of that lately. People at different points in the world of real estate have been trained to think that, you go in and you make an offer that's at asking and you get what you get. But I've seen a lot of that lately. There truly is a lot of great negotiations that are going on right now between buyers and sellers. Sellers are still fairly flexible. They understand the needs of first-time buyers and how they might need a little bit of closing cost assistance. And typically, they're willing to negotiate. And I think as we get on in to spring and summer, we're going to see a lot less of that. So getting into the game now is so super, super important, especially in growing high traffic areas. I think we're going to see a lot of that negotiation dwindle pretty quickly. And so there again, that is absolutely why I say, if you're on the fence, get off of it. Come on into the water. It's amazing. This is definitely a great year to find that perfect house and get it at darn near the perfect price. I mean, we're really in a sweet spot right now for sure.
Well, and you can't go back and change what you paid for a house.
Exactly.
What you paid for a house is what you paid for a house. So if you can get that lower now, and I know it's so cliche and people completely overused marry the house and date the rate.
Yeah.
But what it means is lock in your price. It's not going down. So lock in your price now, your price that you're paying for the home. And if the interest rate works, which they're not astronomical, it's still affordable. We're approving people.
Yes.
then lock in your price of your house now, get the interest rate that you qualify for. And there is some room in that too. I help you decide what is the best choice as far as a program and an interest rate combo. And as long as that works for your budget, you know, it's better than a 100% interest rate when you rent.
That's exactly
It's better
right.
than 0% equity when you rent.
I could not agree more.
Yeah,
could
so
not agree
you're
more.
paying into something that's going to increase
Yes.
2.5% to 5% depending on where you buy year over year.
Absolutely. If you had advice from a lending standpoint to somebody that is thinking about purchasing in 2026, what advice would you give them? What is the first step? What kind of documents do they need to be prepared to send and things of that nature?
So I feel like it should just be a tagline on everything that I post right now, but I'd say it's just math. It's literally just math. You have to make application, meaning I will send you the link, you fill out the application, and I look at it, and then we see what the numbers look like. You're not going to know hypothetically and asking getting some armchair advice from somebody who was in the mortgage industry 20 years ago or 10, even 5 years ago, it's completely different.
Yeah.
But I would just say start somewhere. Do the application, find out what the numbers look like, and then you can decide if it works for you. And if it doesn't work for you, when will it work for you? How do you get there? With advice from somebody who actually does it every day and has for the last 24 years. So instead of just kind of like, shooting fish in a barrel, and I think I should probably do this with my credit, and I think I should probably have this much time on my job, let's look at it and actually define that.
Yep.
So typically, as far as, I get that question all the time, I just started my new job. Is that going to be okay? Typically, we need a 2-year employment history. School counts towards that. And then we need 30 days pay stubs, typically.
Right.
If you've just started a new job and you have an offer letter, sometimes we can work with that. It depends on the loan type. But typically, we want 30 days of pay stubs, 2 years of W-2s, and 1 to 2 months of bank statements and your photo ID.
Right.
If you have a more complicated situation, maybe you're self-employed and we need to look at tax returns. Maybe you have to move money from a retirement account or whatever. But all of those things we can talk through. And if you have the numbers in front of you and you decide that that's something that could work as far as affordability monthly and what you would need for closing, then let's work on what we need to do to get the documentation together.
Exactly. That is one of the biggest things I love about you and your process. You really are great at pointing people in the right direction. If now is not the best time and the smartest time for you to buy, you're going to tell those people that. And I appreciate that so much about you. You're going to point them in the right direction and give good, sound financial advice. It's not just about saying, yes, you've got a 640 credit score, let's run out and buy a house. And I think that education part is so important because if you start out on a shaky foundation, it's really, really hard to stabilize that later on.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important for first-time buyers. So I absolutely appreciate that about your process.
Thanks.
For sure. As always, you guys can reach out on the website if you have any questions or if you just want to check out what houses might be on the market. That's JenniferGarrettHomes.com. You can certainly call me. I can answer any questions that you might have. I can point you in the right direction of lending. Maggie is always available, which is super important when you're talking about a lender. You guys know my number is 864-683-6476, and like Maggie, I'm reachable all the time. I love real estate, and real estate is, what I'm doing 24/7 most of the time. But without further delay, I want to tell you guys some very exciting news, and I wanted to break the news today while Maggie was with us because Maggie is absolutely a big part of this event that's coming up. And I'm so grateful for her kind of jumping in there and helping me manage the chaos and get things done. I think reaching out to the community that you're working in is so important. It helps to connect with the people that live in that community and the resources that are there. So on March 21st from 2 until 4 o'clock, we are having an open house at a listing that's currently on the market, but we kind of have also turned that into a community event. We are going to have several different kinds of service providers there in case you need to, connect with a handyman or someone that does plumbing or whatever the need is. You can find them at this event and communicate with them and ask questions and set up an appointment for them to come and check out whatever need it is that you might have. We're also going to be showcasing this beautiful house that's on the market. And of course, Maggie will be there to help with any lending questions that you might have, not only for that house, but for any house that you might be interested in, and kind of talk you through the process of getting that ball rolling. So I want to invite all of you out to our community open house extravaganza that's happening on March the 21st from 2 until 4 o'clock. That's going to be at 34 Fowler Drive in Woodruff. And if that's not enough to excite you and get you to come out, there's more. We're also having free food. There's going to be a hot dog truck there and a couple of other vendors. It's really going to be a great time. We're going to have a magician and we're going to have some balloon art going on. And it's just going to really be a fun community type day that showcases this amazing house that's on the market. This house is in a very, very much growing area of Woodruff. Y'all, it's a brick ranch with a huge shop in the back, and it's listed at $235,000.
Wow.
So this is definitely a house that you want to come out and see. And I would love to meet all of you guys in person and share some hot dogs and chips and just have a great time. So come check us out at the event. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. And until next time, I hope you guys have a fantastic day.
Thank you.